Hey guys, it's Aman
and Christina
from Our Rich Journey. On today's video, we are talking about the habits that made us millionaires. If you know our story, you know that Christina and I retired at age 39 and 41 after achieving financial independence. Now, you don't have to be a millionaire to achieve financial independence, but in our case, that's what happened. We became millionaires. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the specific habits that we adopted to become millionaires.
So let's start off with the habits, and we're going to start with number one, the most important one, which is finding a way to yes. We adopted this habit where wherever we thought of something, we figured out first what we could do to get there, rather than saying we can't achieve it, or rather than creating excuses for why we can't achieve our goals. So finding a way to yes is so important, and you have to do this regardless of your circumstances. Don't make the excuse that you're a family that can't fire. Don't make the excuse that you don't have enough money. Stop making the excuse that someone else can achieve something but you can't because of whatever your circumstances are. The idea here is to adopt the proper mindset and really focus on getting to yes.
And now habit number two is having a plan. I mean, it's one thing to have a mindset, but without having a plan, the mindset just sits in your mind. The plan puts it in action. And so for us, once we had this plan, the habit was consistently tracking the plan. You see, if you've been watching our channel, you know that we developed 10 stages to financial independence. And for us, financial independence was a multi-million-dollar number. And so tracking our progress to those millions was a habit within itself. And our next habit was avoiding debt. You see, debt plays on you in two ways. First, financially, it weighs on you, but also mentally, it weighs on you. And when you're on this wealth building journey, when you have debt on your shoulders, it's hard for you to move forward from an investment standpoint, but also from a psychological standpoint. Everything you do, you're thinking about this debt. And so for us, avoiding it was crucial in our wealth building strategy.
So not only did we avoid debt, but we also adopted this other habit, which was living below our means.
Oh, and I love this habit because this is our means and this is us living below it. And what happens is, as our means grew, our living stayed right here. And with all of this money, we were able to invest it on our journey. You see, when you can get your savings rate as high as we got ours, at one point we were saving over 70% of our income. That's 70% of our income that we were able to invest to grow our wealth.
So the key here is being a conscious consumer, and that's the habit that we adopted. We were always thinking about how we were spending money, and we were conscious about the idea that just because we started to make more didn't mean that we also had to spend more.
And our next habit was negotiate for everything, especially big ticket items. You see, these are the big wins. When you're able to negotiate a lower price on a home, when you are making a big ticket purchase, all of the money that you can save by not paying the retail price, this is money that you can turn around and invest. And all millionaires negotiate.
So here's the thing. Even with the net worth of being a millionaire, you still have to negotiate. Don't accept that you can pay higher prices because you have more money. And I'll give you an example here. This house that we live in right now, we negotiated the rent down. We didn't need lower rent. We wanted lower rent, and so we negotiated it.
And the next habit is having an eye for money-making opportunities. That's one thing that we practice religiously, is we would look at something and say, how can we monetize this? And I'm not talking about in the sleazy way of making money.
And I'll give you some examples. The first one is IKEA. We've talked about this in our previous videos. We found the benefits of the as-is section at IKEA. So we started purchasing products there, marked down in the as-is section, and then we would sell them later on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and we made a huge profit just from that.
And I'll give you another example. One day we were out for a drive and we drove by this wine company that was throwing away all of these wooden boxes that they had imported wines from Europe in. Well, they were just throwing these beautiful boxes away. They had these logos on the boxes that were straight from Italy or Portugal. And we said, there's value in those boxes that they're throwing away. So we went and we got as many of them as we could. We turned around and sold those on Craigslist and made a great profit. from things that they were just throwing away.
And I'll give you one more final example. We are huge fans of the wooden pallets. We can make so much from a free wooden pallet. We turn it into wine cases, we turn it into furniture. We even have the girls helping with us design different things from pallets. We love the idea, but it's because we're always thinking of ways to create more money. And our next habit was sticking to a budget, but it wasn't just any budget. It was a pay ourselves first budget that focused on automated investments. We took our money and we automatically invested it before we started spending our money in other areas. So if you have a copy of our Financial Independence Retire Early Workbook, you can see exactly how we invested our money. You can see the priorities that we placed on each investment account and how those priorities got us to financial independence. And the workbook also includes our pay yourself first budget. So it was the habit of adopting our pay yourself first budget and automating our money into specific investments that was crucial to us becoming millionaires. And our final habit is asking questions. We had to teach ourselves how to invest. We didn't learn it from home. We didn't learn it from high school. We didn't learn it in college. We had to ask questions and we had to gain that knowledge ourselves. And to this day, we are still asking questions. That is one of the biggest and most productive habits that we've developed, is learning things by asking questions.
And I want to present a challenge to everyone that is watching this video. If you ever have the opportunity to meet a millionaire, ask them questions. But don't just ask them any questions. Ask them questions to understand their thought process, because that is the most important thing that you can get from a millionaire, to understand their thinking process. Not how they got the millions, but the thoughts that went through their head on their journey towards those millions. This is a very important part to understanding how you can become a millionaire, applying their thought process to your life.
So those are the habits that we adopted to become millionaires. Those habits allowed us to reach financial independence and to retire early. We encourage you to explore those habits and to adopt those habits in your everyday life to see how they can impact you positively. And of course, if you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.